All right, Khan, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the 12 tribes, Yasha Allah giving the course, all learning, glory, and praise unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His begotten Son, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. It's brother Yasha Allah coming back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit by Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. All right, so I would get straight into this. So as you can see, and again, Shabbat Shalom actually, right to the 12th, was not able to do a Friday Night Live last night, so just going to try to do like a makeup one on the Shabbat morning through the Spirit. All right. But nevertheless, I'm gonna get straight into this. So I just want to touch on Daniel the 6th chapter real quick, right? Daniel the 6th chapter, because you know when we look at Daniel, because Daniel, I was reading Daniel. Daniel was mighty, so I just want to do a video on it, quick video, right? Daniel is mighty because of how much faith this man has, right? We know that Daniel, not only was he an interpreter of dreams, he had wisdom, he had skill, knowledge, and understanding. He was keeping the commandments too, right? And his position in the Babylonian and going into the Babylonian, also into the Persian and Median captivity, his position was one of the highest positions. So let's go to that real quick. Let's go to the book of Daniel, the 6th chapter, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I do want to touch on certain precepts in this chapter. All right, so let's go to Daniel chapter 6, and let's go to verse 1. Right, it says, "It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, Salakia, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these three presidents, So over the princes, you have presidents in this kingdom right here. Okay, and check this out, right? It says, and of whom Daniel was first. So Daniel was the first president. All right, he was the first president in this kingdom right here, in the kingdom of Darius, in the kingdom of the Persian and Median captivity, which our people were under during this time. What it says, of whom Daniel was first. All right, so people would like to talk about the first, the so-called first black president, Obama. It wasn't Obama, man, right? It was actually Daniel. All right, in another man's kingdom, of course. It says, because prior to this, we had our own kings. Prior to the Persian and Median captivity, we had our own kings. But nevertheless, when we look at the status, and you can even go back as far as Genesis, talking about Joseph, right? Joseph was an Israelite over that had great authority in a heathenistic kingdom. All right, but nevertheless, it says, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and that the king should have no damage. Meaning that, of course, like in any government, it's really to be able to run the country. All right, government is set up a certain way to run the country and allow the king, right? Because this looking like a constitutional monarchy. So if it's a constitutional monarchy, it's more so a monarchy with a king, but the king has people under him that make sure that ensures the safety, ensures the wellness of the kingdom. All right, that's why it says, and that the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him. So an excellent spirit was in Daniel, and that's kind of like the spirit that we want to take upon when we go to this man's in this man's world, in the jobs and the careers. Because again, it's not a sin to go to work. It's not a sin to work in its captivity. It's not a sin to get a career. You know, it's not a sin to do that, because again, Daniel was the president. All right, but was he going off? He wasn't going off. He was still keeping the commandments. He was still praying unto the Most High. He was still worshiping the Lord. And he had the very important role in this man's kingdom right here, in Darius's kingdom. So it's kind of like us. You might be a manager, even though you're in the truth. You might be a manager over a company. You might even be as far as a CEO of a company, but you can still be in the truth. You can still keep the commandments. But nevertheless, the Lord might give you certain benefits in this world, because you have an excellent spirit. The people around you, even though if they may be heathen, they see that you have an excellent spirit. They see that you're kind of different. And they might take king, they might pay attention to that and be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna promote you because I like you. You know, they might say, hey, you know what? I like you, right? Just because of the spirit that you're coming with. And again, this spirit that Daniel had is really a spirit of the Lord upon him. You have different spirits of the Most High. Right. Let me hold that. Let me go to Daniel, Salaki, actually Isaiah. Right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "And there came forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots, and the spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord." Right? So you have different spirits that proceed from the Most High. Spirit of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, the spirit of might, the spirit of knowledge, the spirit of the fear of the Lord. You also have spirits on a left-hand side, as you read in 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 19. Let's get the balance real quick. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 19. How much you get to the point? Let's go to verse 21. "And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so." So you have lying spirits in the so-called New Testament. Often they're called a devil or unclean spirits. So you have unclean spirits and you have righteous spirits that all proceed from the Lord. All right. So Daniel, he had an excellent spirit within him. And this is ultimately from the Most High. But we see how Daniel, he operated himself in a well manner, all right, amongst people in the world, or amongst the heathen. And even when you read the account in 1 Samuel, all right, about David, how was David moving? David was moving in a similar spirit. For the 1 Samuel chapter 15. Actually, I think I wanted let's see here. Right. Let's see here. Let's look at behaved, right? Yeah, okay, Khan. Yeah, let's go to first Samuel chapter 18, verse 14, right? It says, "And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him." So that's kind of like the similar thing. David, he had a goodly and excellent spirit in him too. He was well favored amongst the people. Not only was he comely on the outside, he was comely in the inside. People liked his spirit. People liked his personality. Like how people might say nowadays in the world, "Oh yeah, I like his vibe. I mess with his spirit." They may not say spirit, they might say vibe, they may say personality, but they're kind of all within the same. Everybody has a different type of spirit. They kind of come with different type of personality. People also say they like the charismatic. If you're charismatic, you're outgoing. People like these kind of things, and they draw towards these people that have these type of personalities, right? That know how to speak. So Daniel, and it doesn't go too much in depthly about how his spirit was, but it says that he had an excellent spirit. All right, he was probably cool, calm, collective. He knew what to say. It tell you that in Daniel, the first chapter, that Daniel was one of the children that was wise, along with his three I was gonna say brothers, but I mean they all come from the same tribe. But you had Azariah, Hananiah, and Mishael. They also had a similar spirit to Daniel, right? But it says Salaki, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could not find occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. So there was no error nor fault found in Daniel. All right. It wasn't. He was faithful in everything. And when you go into this word for faithful, and I had it pulled up right here actually. So let's just pull it up. This is the word for it. It says aman, right? It says to confirm, support, to believe in, to trust, trustworthy. So he was faithful. He was trustworthy. All right. He was sure. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that Daniel would get certain jobs, done. He'll get the job done. He's trustworthy. He's not going to do me wrong. That's why he can hold this very important position of power in this kingdom, because people trusted him. All right. And we have to also try to walk in that spirit too amongst work and, in our occupations. Are we trustworthy? Because, I mean, if you find anyone really, just putting it into perspective, um, if you have a community of people that truly follow every single tenet of the Bible, right? The Bible says, thou shalt not steal, right? The Bible says, thou shalt not commit adultery. If you have a community of people that follow all these tenets, you don't really have too much to worry about if you're amongst them. Like, for example, if you have a close friend that you know to keep the commandments of God, as it also says in the book of Sirach, right? 37, you know, um, keep, be with the man that has understanding, in whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of God. Because again, if you know someone to be a righteous person, you don't really have to worry too much about them, um, stabbing you behind the back on a literal or metaphorical level. Because again, they're following the tenets of God. They actually fear the Most High. So it's not more so that you're going to trust them automatically a little bit more than per se a person that's completely in the world and that has no moral values, right? That doesn't, believe in anything, right? And let's just check and see if this is right. That doesn't. Yeah, okay, come on. That doesn't believe in anything, right? Why would I trust that person that doesn't have any moral values at all? Right? I'm gonna trust this. I'm gonna put a little bit more faith, a little bit more trust into someone that who I know to keep the commandments of God. Right? But nevertheless, it says, but they can find none occasion nor fault. So Daniel, he was perfect in terms of the people. Right? There was no error nor fault found in him. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him in the law and concerning the law of his God. So you keep reading on. And so essentially, these men, they conspire together. They write a letter unto the king. They say, hey, did not you say that if any man makes a petition, right? If any man makes a petition to any God except for you, that he should be thrown into the lion's den. And King Darius said, yes, that's true. I'm going to sign it, right? And he signed it. And so essentially just reading on and just, making a long story short, you can read it on your own. We're going to get to the part when Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, all right? Because you have two different accounts. Well, not two different ones, but you have two accounts of Daniel being thrown into the lion's den, right? One account is a little bit more in depth in the Apocrypha, right? And this account that we're going to read in Daniel chapter 6 is a little bit more brief. But we're going to kind of look at the both accounts, kind of put them together, and that'll be the video. But nevertheless, let's read this. Daniel chapter 6 and verse number 16. It says, then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him to the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. All right. So essentially, Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. All right. He was thrown into the lion's den. And so, of course, nobody believed that he would survive. It's like a death sentence. It's like a death sentence, man. to be thrown into a den full of lions. Yeah, I mean, you might just consider him, just bury his grave right now, right? Just write him off, say that, he died on this day. It was a death sentence to them, right? And which is reasonable. But nevertheless, Daniel, and it's going to say it in Daniel chapter 6, Daniel was delivered because of his faith, because he believed in the Most High, right? So let's get that real quick. Let's go to the book of Bel and the Dragon, all right? And let's read the little bit more in-depth account of what we're reading in Daniel chapter 6. Let's kind of get that real quick. And then we're going to go back to Daniel chapter 6. So let's get this. Daniel, Rebel and the Dragon. Right. Let's see here. Rebel and the Dragon, verse 30. Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. Now, you see, you see how Daniel was here in the lion's den for 6 days. According to this account, he was there for 6 days, right? 6 days is a long time to be in a room full of lions. I mean, to even, 30, 40, 45 minutes with a lion is scary. It don't even have to be that long. Couple minutes with a lion in a room full of, full of lions is scary. Daniel was in the lion's den for 6 days, right? That's a long time. That's almost a week. That's damn near a week, right? And he was in there. But nevertheless, throughout those whole 6 days, Daniel, he still believed in the Lord, right? It says, and in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them to the intent that they might devour Daniel. Now there was in Jeri a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers, right? And that's spiritual too, right? Because Habakkuk, he is another prophet that we have in the minor prophets. We have his book, we have his writings, but that's spiritual because he was making pottage, right? He had broken bread in a bowl, and he was going into the field to bring it to the reapers, right? The people that are reaping in the field, which essentially is like the Lord kind of giving that reward onto the laborers in this vineyard, or else like in this field, which will be the servants of prophets, right? But, that's just a little spiritual right there in verse 33. Nevertheless, let's keep going. Verse 34. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, go carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. So Habakkuk was like, man, Lord, I never saw Babylon. I don't even know where the den is, right? You know what I'm saying? Because again, a lot of times people think that they want to meet angels. I've kind of said that before, but when you read the account in Daniel said he stood trembling before an angel, right? Just a quick account on that, because I just want to make a quick point on that, man. A lot of people say, that when you look up angel, let's kind of get maybe a picture of that, right? People always think like, angels are like just some, I don't know, right? Some naked babies or something like that, right? This is what people believe that the angels look like in the third heaven, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes, maybe a robe on, pair of wings. Where is this at in the Bible? Right? That's not in the Bible, man. Right? Why would you be scared of this thing? Right? Why would you be scared of that? You know what? Why would you be scared of this? You know what I'm saying? So let's look at what our forefathers said about meeting the angel. Let's go to the book of Daniel chapter 10. All right, let's go to Daniel chapter 10 and verse number, let's see here. right? Let's go to Daniel chapter 10. Yeah, Khan, in verse number 10, it said, "And behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent." And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. So Daniel was standing trembling before this angel in Daniel chapter 10. He was stood trembling. What does that word trembling mean? It says shaking or quivering is typically as a result of anxiety, excitement, or frailty, right? And in this case, it would essentially mean uh, um, because he's so scared, right? He's in great fear right now, standing before this angel, right? So again, these angels, they talk in a very, you know, loud voice, a very demanding voice. Their presence is demanding. That's why the even the prophets were scared of these angels. So when we go back to that in Bel and the Dragon, um, verse number 35, Habakkuk was like, Lord, I never saw Babylon. Neither do I know what the den is. Kind of just imagine an angel while you're cooking some pottage, angel just pull up on you and say, hey, carry that dinner to onto Babylon, right? Go carry that dinner onto him, right? Go to Babylon, go to Daniel, give him that dinner. Just all of a sudden, right? So I would imagine Habakkuk is pretty startled right here. All right. But verse 36, it says, Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown, meaning by the head, right? And bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. So you have an account of teleportation in the Bible, right? Teleportation in the Bible. So Habakkuk was somewhere in Jewry, all right, somewhere in Judea, and through the vehemency of the spirit of this angel carried essentially Habakkuk all the way to the den in Babylon, right? Verse 37. And Habakkuk cried, saying, "O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which God hath sent thee." And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O God, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. You see that? So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately, right? So let's go back to that in Daniel chapter 6. So again, Daniel got delivered, but it took 6 days. It took 6 days, man. We may pray for something, it may not come immediately. What you think Daniel was in there doing in the lion's den for 6 days? He was praying, right? He was praying unto the Most High. And in the 6th day, right, or after those 6 days, whatever the case may be, the Lord answered his prayer and the Lord delivered him. All right. Now let's go back to this. Let's go to Daniel chapter 6 and verse number 21. Then Daniel said unto the king, O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and have shut the lion's mouth. So the Lord, he can do all things, man. This is just proving to us the Lord can do anything. The Lord can send an angel and shut the mouths of certain lions. He can make the beasts of the earth be at peace with you, right? You may fall into a den full of snakes and not one bites you, man, right? If it's all according to the will of the Most High. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 18, all right? Because we have to remember who is in control of all this. Who is in control, man? Right? Let's go to Sirach 18:1. Actually, Sirach chapter 18, verse number 3. Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. So the Lord has a palm, the word of the world with the palm of his hand. All things obey his will. So that goes into the snakes, that goes into the elephants, the giraffes, the lions. It doesn't matter. Everything obeys his will. All right. Let's go to the book of Job chapter 5, verse 20. This is Job chapter 5, verse I'm gonna just start at verse 19. It says, He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 shall no evil touch thee. This is going into the elect. Okay, the Lord is going to deliver you from 7 troubles, and that 7 is not just an actual 7. That 7 is going into all troubles, right? 7, the number of completion, meaning that the Lord is going to deliver his elect from all troubles, all their troubles, right? And actually, do have a quick precept on that too. I think if I can find it, because again, it says, "He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 shall no evil touch thee." And I'm just going to prove real quick how that 7 is not an actual literal 7. All right. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 34, and verse number 17. It says, "The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all." You see that? So out of all the righteous out of all the afflictions of the righteous, the Lord is going to deliver them out of that, man. Right? In 7, there shall no evil touch thee. It says, "In famine he shall deliver thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword." Right? And did not the Lord do that in for Elijah? The Lord delivered Elijah out of famine. Even though there was no rain, there was no food, the Lord had the birds of the flocks of the air bring Elijah some food. I believe it said some cakes in the KJV. All right, not actual cakes, but and off of what the Lord brought unto Elijah, he went off the strength of that for 40 days and 40 nights, if I'm not mistaken. For many days. It says, "And in war from the power of the sword, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the earth shall be, so like the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee." So that's what happened in Daniel chapter 6. When Daniel got delivered from the lion's den, the beasts of the field, the Lord made the beasts of the field to be at peace with Daniel. Right? Because essentially, we don't have any beef. There's no beef between us and the lions, right? And the Lord can make that, make these beasts of the field be at peace with us. All right, he can do that if he wants. As we're reading right here, it says, "My God have sent his angel and have shut up the lion's mouth, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt." Right? Let's keep reading on that, right? Verse 23. And here's the main precept I want to kind of get into. Verse 23. "Then was the king exceeding glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God." So because of Daniel's faith, because again, Daniel was already favored by the Most High, because he did as the Most High commanded him, even in the land of his captivity. That's why Daniel got promoted. That's why Daniel was the first president in this kingdom right here. But nevertheless, again, Daniel had faith, and that's why no manner of hurt was found upon him. That's why he was delivered from the lion's den. And on the spiritual level, what does that mean for us? On the spiritual level, the elect is Daniel, right? Daniel is a representation, symbolization of the elect. And the lion's den is this damn captivity right here. All right. Let's kind of break that down on the spiritual level real quick before I close out. Right, where are we at time? Okay, time. Let's kind of just break that down on the spiritual level. Daniel is a representation of the elect. All right. And the elect, they're going to be delivered from the lion's den because they have faith. Right? The elect have faith, they're going to be delivered out of captivity. Brothers have faith that they're going to be delivered via the chariots of the Most High, right? That's faith right there. It's not hardcore evidence. Where's the hardcore evidence of a chariot of the Most High God? There's only faith for real in these words that we have here. All right. Now let's go to real quick. I want to go to not Zephaniah, Nahum, right? To prove that this that captivity essentially is the mouth of the lions, right? Let's go to Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. She is empty and void and made and waste, and the heart melteth, and the knees smite together, and much pain is in all loins, and the faces of all them of them all gather blackness. Where is the dwelling of the lions, and the feeding place of the young lions? Where the lion, even the old lion, walked, and the lions whelped, and none made them afraid. See that? Where is the dwelling of the lions? The dwelling of the lions is talking about, our captivity. Because again, Esau, you have a lion on the right hand side, which is talking about what? Yahweh, the righteous. And Salaki, you have the lions on the right hand side was talking about Yahweh, and you also have the righteous men. They're likened unto lions. But you also have the lions on the left hand side, which are what ye saw in the other nations. Because a lion is a predator, right? So it's going to feed upon its prey. It's going to devour everything in its way. So the dwelling of the lions is talking about, in its proper context, going into how essentially Nineveh, okay, the capital of the Assyrian Empire, was destroyed, right? It's going to be destroyed. So the Lord's like, hey, where is it now? Where's the dwelling place now? I destroyed it, right? Where's the lion now? Y'all were proud before. Where are you at? Right now. So that's what the Lord is saying. But we can apply this to America as well, because America is none other but modern day Nineveh, modern day Babylon, modern day Persian and Median captivity or empire, the modern day Grecian Empire, modern day Roman Empire. I mean, it's a culmination of all these other empires put into one. That's America for you, a melting pot, right? Modern day Egypt. Tell you that in Deuteronomy 28:68 and Revelation 11 verse 8, right? But nevertheless, it says the dwelling of the lions. So again, we're in the mouth, and we're in the belly of the beast. We're in the mouth of the lions right now. And the elect, they're going to be delivered, just like how Daniel was on the physical level. They're going to be delivered from the mouth of the lions, or the den of the lions, right? Pretty soon, as we watch all these prophecies unfold. Why? Because of their faith. Because they have faith. All right, and that just brings me to, let's go to Hebrews. We close out with this. Hebrews chapter 10. Let's see how the just are living. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse number 36. For ye had need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, you might receive the promise. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. So the just are going to live by faith. Okay? They're going to live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. So that's how the just are living now. They're living by faith, just like how Daniel was living by faith. The whole time he believed in God. Therefore, the Lord delivered him out of his troubles. So all praise to Yahweh Shemon Mashak Yahushua, and we aspire to be like Daniel in this thing. We aspire to be like Daniel. We aspire to be like Ezekiel. We aspire to be like Isaiah. We aspire to be like the righteous prophets of old. So with that, all praise Yahweh Shemon Yahushua. This was a quick lesson going into Daniel's faith, the faith that we also want to have in the last days, to be delivered out of the mouth of the lions. With the spirit power Yahweh Shemon Yahushua, Lord willing. Kwame Yashala, the water for tuning in. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Kwame Yashala again. Shalom.